emails work way better than social media because people are on social media for entertainment and for fun, and
Yes.
they're not really there to purchase. It's also
Mhm.
much harder to get in front of your audience because of algorithms. Email is where people build those relationships to make those sales.
Hello, welcome to Monetizing Mompreneurs podcast, where I take you behind the scenes with industry leaders, entrepreneurs, moms, working professionals, and amazing people pursuing their passions and going for their dreams. And I'm your host, Linda Mendable. Sarah Dickinson is a newsletter specialist with three passions: writing, storytelling, and her kids. She spent 10 years freelance writing in the digital marketing space while raising her two neurospicy children. And when her most precious role as a mom was winding down, she founded her business, the Nerdy Quill. Sarah now uses her passion for writing and knowledge of how to utilize words to build relationships. She works with women, queer business owners to help them share their stories and wisdom with their audience through their newsletters, whether you choose to have it done for you or she teaches you how to do it all yourself. Sarah's expertise will have your people calling you family in no time. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I am so excited because you are in our blooper series this holiday season. So it's so amazing to have you. And can you tell us your most pressing blooper that you currently have on your mind?
Okay, so my biggest work blooper was um, like you mentioned in my bio, my children are neurospicy. So my oldest is attention deficit, and my youngest, my daughter, is autistic. And with her being autistic, the world kind of revolves around her. And she very much uses the internet to sort of identify with the world and communicate. It's sort of her whole life. And when the internet is not working quite the way she wants it to, um, she it frustrates her. So I was in the middle, and I work from home. So I was in the middle of a very important client call, and the internet was not working quite as fast as she wanted it to. So she took it upon herself to reset the internet. So all of a sudden, the internet completely went out in the middle of my very important client call. And so obviously the call went off. There was no internet. And I had to, I had to do some follow up and that kind of thing and rebook the call because, yeah, she just walked into the living room and turned the internet off and on again.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, that was kind of a fun one. And it was like, I have to explain to my client that, yeah, my daughter decided the internet wasn't working fast enough and turned the internet off. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. As a mompreneur working from home, you have had a few things happen, right? Like the internet coming out. So when you have done, what have you done to like recover from them? Like this moment happened. What did you do? Did you like call the client? Did you text them, email, and Gmail?
Yeah, so I immediately emailed the client, as well as reached out on Facebook because I knew the client was also spent a lot of time on Facebook and in Messenger, and that's sort of where we had initially connected. And just, transparency, full transparency. I am so sorry that this happened.
Yeah.
I have a neurospicy child that decided the internet wasn't working to their liking and turned it off. And I'm so sorry. These are, glitches that happened. And can we rebook? And I have found with most of my clients, well, I would say with all of my clients, because the people that I work with are all very open because I'm open with who I work with and about who I am and, my family, they're all very open and accepting and understanding that I have neurospicy kids and that family is very important to me. So, yeah, just being transparent and saying, I'm very sorry what's happened. Can we reschedule? So I'm very lucky that way to be that people are very understanding.
Absolutely. I remember when I was hosting one of our small monetizing entrepreneur summits, and the person was presenting, and I didn't think that if I left my camera on that anybody could see me, because I'm like, oh, it's just them. Everybody's just seeing them. Nobody's seeing me. And I brought my lunch. I left the room. I went really fast and got my lunch because my husband got me some like really spicy jerk beef. I don't know if you ever heard it. It was so good.
Yeah.
Very, very spicy. And I'm eating it like my life depended on it, thinking that my camera was off or that nobody could see me. And I and and then my the person I was hosting with was like, "Do you have your camera on?" And I was like, "Now you tell me." She told me at the end, like, "You have your camera on." Yes. Yes. So everybody saw who, if anybody saw me there, they saw me pretty much like gobbling down my food. And like it was spicy. So I was like sniffling and
Oh no. See, I haven't had anything like that's directly affected me like that because I'm really paranoid about like people seeing me, but like my kids have no shame. They're just like, whatever, world, this
spicy.
is me. And and my daughter, especially, like with her being autistic, she's just like, whatever, what you see is what you get. And so,
Mm.
and she's prone to nosebleeds. So like she's just like walked into the room with like blood gushing down her face while I'm on camera and being like, Mom, I need you. And like the poor person on camera with me is horrified and going, what is happening? Like, we need to get off this call right now. You need to go attend to your child. And I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, Chaim, just go into the bathroom and get your nose, because she has these little things that go on her nose because it
Yeah.
happens so frequently. And I'm like, no,
Wow. Yeah.
Chaim, why are you even coming in here? You know what to do. Just go get your nose plugs.
Mm.
Right. And it's horrifying the person on the other end. And what kind of mother am I? I'm like, just can you just give me like 2 minutes and I'll go and help her find her nose plugs.
Yeah. Have you ever had any like bloopers when it comes to, because you write newsletters,
Yeah.
right? So have you ever like made a mistake and sent something out that I've
Oh,
had like I had to send out like, oops, sorry guys, this wasn't sent out by mistake.
yeah,
The error.
I sent a newsletter. I've sent an email to a client that was meant for my sister. And only once have I sent a newsletter I've sent to a portion of my list. Not to my whole list, thank goodness, but I had held a master class. And then I sent a newsletter to the people that attended the master class that was meant to go to my kids' university. And well, it was meant to go to an instructor at my child's university who had been less than inclusive.
Mm.
So it was a strongly worded message.
Ooh. Ooh, did you get a good response?
I did, actually. I did. It was a very supportive response.
They saw a different
Full,
side of you.
it was a whole nother side of me. It was full of attitude and anger and mama bear. And
Mm,
yeah, that should not have gone out to my newsletter list, but it did. And then,
mm.
of course, I had to send an apology of, I am so sorry you had to see that. And yes, I did get a number of responses back saying, hey, well, it's nice to see your values fully on display. Like there's no hiding who you are now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did get a few unsubscribes.
Okay.
That is for sure. Yep, there were some people who did not like seeing that side of me, but you know what? That's the
Yeah, I
cost
mean,
of doing
because it's
business,
coming into
right?
their inbox, they're like, is she talking to me? You know, giving me
Yeah.
this ass.
Yeah. So
Oh man.
that's probably the biggest and the biggest blooper, and the one that sort of weighs, like that's the one that sort of haunts me. Is it's the one that's not the funny story that I tell. It's not the funny blooper, you know?
Yeah. I mean, now you're laughing
Yeah.
at it, right? It wasn't funny at the time, but
Yeah.
you can look back now and kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, that
Yeah.
was an oops.
It was a huge oops. It was a big oops. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But luckily I've never had an oops like that. Like I've never had an oops like that when dealing with clients. And because I'm very, very careful. I'm so
Yeah.
careful.
And
Yeah.
what do you use to send out your newsletter? Because that's kind of like you use like Active Campaign, ConvertKit,
I use MailerLite.
MailerLite. Okay.
Yes, but when I'm following up with a master class, like directly from a master class, I do it
Oh,
directly from my personal email.
okay.
Right. So like when I said it only went out to a portion of my list, it was because it was a
Masterclass.
direct follow up from a master class.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So how do you host your masterclass?
I just host them over Zoom.
So they just log into Zoom.
Yeah. I send them a
Welcome to the
link to
master
log into Zoom, and I
welcome to
host
the
them over
master
Zoom.
class.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
I gotta because you sometimes we complicate things. Oh, a master class has to be on a webinar.
Yeah, no, you know what? I like to do things as simple and easy, which is part of the reason why I love MailerLite so much, because it is the easiest platform for newsletters that
Yeah,
you can get. I also love ConvertKit, but it's a little more technical,
it
and you
is.
have to have a little bit more know-how, and there's a little bit of coding involved. MailerLite is so easy. It's drag and drop. The templates are amazing. It's so user friendly. So
Yeah.
that's the reason I use it. That's the reason I like it as a newsletter specialist, especially because, a lot of my clients are like, I just don't have time to learn anything new. So I'm like,
Hmm.
go with MailerLite. It's easy.
Yeah, I definitely recommend MailerLite if you have below 1,000 subscribers because
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
free.
It is.
It's not
It
only
is.
and it's easy. It's
Yep.
easy and it's free. So like boom, just get in there and start building your list because
Yep.
they have the landing pages, they got the forms, all of that for free to get you over the hump, right?
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
because why would you be paying monthly and you have less than 100, 600, less than 1,000, really?
Right?
Because I
Yeah.
don't they say that it's more impressionable? Like once you have 1,000, that means you're really gaining traction and you're knowing who you're speaking to, right?
Yep. For sure. For sure.
So what do you work on your clients when it comes to newsletters? Do you work with a certain type of client? Is it entrepreneurs? Is it all about email marketing or what do you work with?
So I work with women and queer business owners, and I work with service providers. I don't do product-based businesses because that's a whole nother ball of wax. So I work with service providers, and it's about building relationships. So there's a big difference between writing marketing emails and writing newsletters designed to build relationships.
Oh, what is
So
the difference?
a marketing email is for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to directly sell your offer, directly to sell whatever you're selling. So, when you like go to a store and you buy a t-shirt or something like that, and they ask you for your email, and then like your inbox is immediately filled with, look at what else we can sell you, buy our thing, buy our thing, buy our thing. Like people are just exhausted with those types of emails. So what I do is I help you write your newsletters. What your newsletters are is they're designed to build relationships. They deliver value. So yes, absolutely, you tell people about your offers in them, but they're not a hard sell. It's more like a suggestion. It's you're going to tell a story in it. You're going to provide value. You're going to give them suggestions on how, if you're having this problem, this is the way to solve it. And if you need more help, I can help you. And here's how I can help you. So it's not a hard sell. You leave your car salesman at the door, right? And what happens is people they learn to like you and then love you, and then they become your loyal fans, so that when it comes time for a launch or a sales period and you start sending them those marketing emails every day for a week or 2 weeks, they are already warmed up and they love you and they want everything you have and they're ready to buy. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I love this because I want to talk about like what should go in a newsletter. Like, how can you warm them up that when you do start those marketing portions, like they're in it. They're like, "Ooh, we're warm, we're hot, let's do this."
Absolutely. So what goes into your newsletter is a newsletter, if you think about it, like writing a letter to a friend. It should be easy, right? Think about a friend that you want to help, or that ideal client that you just want to offer them some help. So you want to tell some sort of story. You want to give them a peek into your life outside of your business. So like in my newsletter, I talk about my kids and my husband all the time. I'm a big nerd, hence the reason my company called the Nerdy Quill. I talk about like superhero movies. I talk about movies all the time, and TV and all that kind of stuff. And then I refer back to newsletters, right? But you're going to tell stories, you're going to offer value, right? That kind of thing. So think of it like writing a letter as opposed to sell, sell, sell. Yeah, writing a letter to a friend. Tell them a story.
Okay. And do you incorporate like what you do within these stories, or it's just all personal?
Yeah, definitely incorporate what you do within the story because you want to be providing value. So, for instance, when I'm talking about a nurture sequence, right, like a freebie, and how you need to have a nurture sequence with it, and then that leads them into your emails. I often I talk about like the kind of like the dating world, kind of, right? So, like, would you, when you first meet somebody, would you instantly um, ask them to marry you? Well, probably not. If you showed up on your first date and they proposed marriage, you'd be like, whoa, 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 wait a minute, right? So you're going to have your lead magnet, and then the lead magnet is like kind of like the first date, and the nurture sequence is when you're first getting to know each other, right? The initial dating. And then they move into the newsletter, which is like the long-term relationship, right?
So you recommend first starting a little nurture sequence before they get straight into your newsletter?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because you
And
need
do
to
you do it
date
like
them
a
a little bit.
3 day, a
Pardon
3 day?
me?
What would you think? What would be a good span? Like, okay, you're just getting someone onto your email.
Hmm.
You have your nurture. How
Hmm.
does that look like? Is it like a 3 email span? Is it
Yeah. So normally I recommend like it's four, like sort of four emails.
okay?
So your first email is basically you're going to welcome them to your list. If you've offered them a freebie, you're going to give them the freebie. You're going to, thank them for signing up. And then you want to sort of create an expectation of this is what the newsletter is going to be about. This is how often you can expect to get the newsletter. And then a little PS maybe saying, by the way, I'm going to pop into your inbox a couple more times just as we're getting to know each other. And that's the first email.
Okay.
Short and sweet. Second one, you're going to introduce yourself. Hi, I'm me. This is what I do. This is how I got to where I am. And if I'm not doing what I'm doing, this is what I like to do outside. So for me, I like to crochet and watch Doctor Who and drink lots of tea.
Oh, that's
Right?
good. Yes.
Yeah. And
I like that.
then that's, again, short and sweet. And then email number 3, you're going to tell them a little story, and that's going to lead them into your offers and how you can help them. And this is your offers. And so it's a little bit more salesy than the first 2 because there's 0 sales in the first 2. But you're going to let them know how you can help. And then the 4th email, you're going to offer some testimonies. So they know that you're the expert.
That's good.
Yeah. And you're going to send them out over a 4 to 7 day period. So
And like once a day.
You can do it once a day, or you can do it every other day.
Which one is better?
It depends on your audience. So if your audience is someone that you feel sort of has the time, sort of if you're business to consumer, right?
Yeah.
I recommend every day. But if
Okay.
you're more business to business, then I recommend every other day, or
Okay.
every like 2 days in between. So spacing it out a bit. And then after that, they just go onto your regular newsletter, because now you finish the dating and now you're going to head into the long-term relationship.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because I have been doing like I have a Facebook group that people come into, and I've been doing like a huge, page of saying welcome.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what we offer in the group.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they're straight in my newsletter.
So they don't even know who you are.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's a book, like there is a little blurb about me with a
Mm-hmm.
book a chat with me at the bottom. Like a picture of me and my family, and then like, hey, I am a brand strategist,
Right.
marketing coach, so that, and then they go straight into my newsletter because I am very personable in my newsletter. Not
Mm-hmm.
doing, and I do sell in there and stuff like that. But I'm more like in my PSs, I talk about my family or I talk about certain personal things. But I try to give tips. So I'm like, I think going straight in there is going to be the best. But I like these with lead magnets because my Facebook group is a little bit different. But I think with a
Yes.
lead magnet, that I do a 3 day
Yeah.
instead of as opposed to a 4 day. But I really like the extra because I usually do the 3 and 4 day that you said. The third day you go into your offer your sales, and then the
Mm-hmm.
fourth day the testimonials. I usually do that in the third day, both sales, like what the sale is, and along with testimonials. But
Testimonies. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
So
kind of like the same.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And sort of the idea of a nurture sequence is that sort of that dating kind of period. I always refer it back to that. And then also it gives them the chance to start getting to know you and for you to stay top of mind. Because if you're in their face 4 times, then when they're on your regular newsletter list and in there, they'll remember who you are.
A
So
lot
they'll
more.
open your newsletter. Whereas if you just deliver the freebie, the lead magnet, and then they
Yeah.
go straight onto your newsletter, they have no idea who you are
Yes.
and why they should be
Exactly.
opening that newsletter.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I love that because I do have a sequence a workflow that's 1, 2, 3 email, and then they get tagged into the segment of the newsletter.
Right.
So boom,
Perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What have you seen that really works when it comes to email sales?
Emails work way better than social media. I'll just put it out there. Because people are on social media for entertainment and for fun, and
Yes.
they're not really there to purchase. It's also
Mhm.
much harder to get in front of your audience because of algorithms.
Oh
So
yeah.
email is where people build those relationships to make those sales. So email is more and more people are finding especially it's especially since the pandemic had us locked in for so long.
Yes.
It has changed marketing so much from from the way it used to be done to people just want relationships now. People are no longer buying from businesses, they're buying from other people. So if you're not friends, if they don't know who you are, and the world has changed so much in such a short amount of time that people want to know who you are and what you stand for, what your values are. And it's very difficult to get that across in other ways, unless they're listening to you regularly on like your podcast, or if they're regularly you're showing up for them in your email. So things like podcasts and newsletters are becoming more and more and more important for marketing and for sales.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because what I call social media is like touch points, like LinkedIn, touch point, Instagram, a touch point, TikTok, a touch point, your Facebook group, a touch point. And I feel as though you go in deeper with me on a one-on-one conversation within the newsletter, but I'll stay front of mind if I already have kind of like this ecosystem that I'm doing, that things are already set up, then I'm just working the wheel, right? It's almost like a wheel. You just
It
work it,
is.
okay.
For sure.
You have a whole system, right? You have the whole system. You're on your podcast and you're kicking out content that people find valuable. That's number one. Memorable, right? Also
For
valuable,
sure.
memorable, entertaining, resonates. And then when you are on social media, it's just to remind them, hey, I am here, right?
For sure.
I'm
For
here.
sure.
I'm showing up. It's just a reminder.
It is, absolutely. And the wonderful thing about podcasts, and I love this, is for people that have podcasts, you're already creating that beautiful content. So for anyone that has a podcast who doesn't have a newsletter, what a missed opportunity, because you
Oh
can
yeah.
literally take your podcast and just turn that into your newsletter, and then take that newsletter and put it up as a blog, and then take that content and put it up as your social media. Because if people see the exact same content in 4 or 6 different places, that's great,
They're
because
more
all
likely
of
to click.
yeah, because all of those are touch points, and it takes 6 to 15 touch points before people really get it sunk into their head. So if they see it everywhere, that's fantastic. I mean,
Absolutely.
how often has something you finally gone, oh hey, that's a great idea, I'm gonna do that, because like your best friend or your sister has said something, and then like your partner has gone, oh my goodness, I have been saying that for a week now, right? And you're like, what are you talking about? Like, this is the first I've heard of it, right? It
Yes.
happens all the time, right? Like my husband will suddenly be like, oh, you know what I'm going to do because I just heard this thing? And I'm like, I have been trying to get you to do that for a month, right? And it's like he's never even heard the idea before, right? And it's because it takes that many touch points. So just content repurposing is brilliant. It's my jam and I love it so much.
Oh yeah. So take us a little bit through like how, because that's what I do. I am totally up in my blog. Absolutely. SEO, find me on Google. Totally up in Pinterest.
Hmm.
That post, we build some graphics, make it, we get a little quote from the podcast within the graphic.
Brilliant.
I know. And then I use something called Missing Letter. I'm an
Mm.
affiliate. I'll put the link in the show notes. Missing Letter allows me to post in multiple areas. It allows me to post on Facebook. It does a campaign, a year-long campaign. And so it repurposes
Wow.
my content for me that I don't have to think about it. I just set it up one time. It populates the graphics. It populates from the blog post because you sync it up to your blog. It populates, yeah, girl. It populates the quotes within the blog post. So it puts up little blurbs. And it then it goes to my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Facebook page. And it's like every couple of days. So it's repurposing. It doesn't do it like all the time. And it repurposed all of my content. So I have like 52 campaigns that are repurposing my content. and it's just kicking it out that people can just, oh, I didn't click on, you know.
Oh my God, this is
And it's
genius.
and it's like, and it's growing my LinkedIn by itself because I don't even go in LinkedIn. I get a whole bunch of notifications because I can't keep up with everything, and it's growing effortlessly. My LinkedIn. I just started my LinkedIn, and I just started, like, I think this year, my LinkedIn, and it's already like grown it, and I'm like, oh wow, this is,
Oh, that's genius.
yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely
letter.
put that in
Missing,
the show notes because this is
that's
something everybody needs.
Oh yeah, and I don't have to do it. I don't have to. I just, well, I sit down and build out the campaign, and then I put publish, and then it kicks it out like the first day, and then day 6, then day 19, and it kicks it out for the full year.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm
That
always
is
doing
amazing.
content, even when I'm
Yeah.
not doing content, I'm posting.
Amazing. As a content creator, this is just music to my ears. I love it.
Yeah, I'm like, and I try to tell people about it. You know, I'm like, missing letter. Have you heard of missing letter? You need to get on it.
Yeah. Because this is something that people tell me all the time when they're talking about their newsletters, I don't know what to write, right?
Yes,
And you know what? People have more to say than they realize, right?
absolutely.
And you can repurpose your topics over and over and over. If you haven't talked about it in a month, it's time to talk about it again,
Oh yeah.
right? Because um this is a terrible way to say it, and my sister would, be very angry. She's always like, you shouldn't talk about people like that. I'm like, but it's true. People are goldfish. We have the attention span of a goldfish because we have so much in our faces all the time, right? Like
Mm.
my kid, I can be really excited about something, and then one of my kids walks into the living room and says something to me, and that thing I was so excited about, I have completely forgotten about it, right? We have so much coming at us that we don't remember anything, right? So having those reminders constantly coming at us is exactly what we need in order to get it into our brain, for us to remember it, for us to absorb it and digest it, so that we can then follow through and hire you and work with you. So, like, if I haven't talked about nurture sequences in a month, you better believe I'm going to talk about them again. If I haven't talked about, um, you know, using AI to come up with content ideas in 2 weeks, you better believe I'm going to be saying something about using AI for content ideas on my newsletter, because AI has changed the way I come up with content ideas. It's fantastic. And if and these are all the, like, the good tips you're going to get if you join my newsletter. So, like,
Yeah,
there's just,
absolutely. I really believe a podcast is a place that you drop your gems
yeah.
because, things are a lot deeper, right, than what we can cover in an hour of an episode,
Yep.
you know, especially like AI, like that is Chat GPT is one of the biggest, like what I do with content, I look at my pinned posts and I look at the ones that are pinned the most. I'm like, okay, I got to retouch on that one, on that
Mhm.
topic because I
For
know
sure.
that's a hot topic. And that's the beauty of using your blog and using Pinterest and using these platforms that maximizes your reach, but also gives you insights and analytics that
Yeah.
you can actually see what content is going to be the most effective to get my voice out there,
Yeah.
that I can break through the noise,
Yeah.
because those topics, you have a different spin. We all, like, you have a different voice and what I have a different voice, and we have a different strategy and all of that, but your voice may be the one that breaks through the noise on a
Yeah.
particular topic. And I saw that Chat GPT, like, I probably could go viral viral if I just talk about Chat GPT, because everybody is looking for ways to use AI.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, and just keep talking about yeah, I mean, you are the expert, period, in what you do. And just keep telling people about it. Just keep telling people about it. Your special sauce, someone is looking for it. And your newsletter is such a great way to just get out there and tell people about it. and you can talk about the same thing over and over and over in that newsletter. Just put a different story behind it, a different spin on it, you know,
Yeah, and
show people who you are as a human, and they are going to fall in love with you, and they are going to want to throw money at you.
yeah, yeah, like, where's my wallet? Let me go get it.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Sarah, where can people find you?
Okay, great. Yes. So my website is thenerdyquill.ca, because I'm in Canada, so CA. And I'm on Facebook at the Nerdy Quill and Instagram at the Nerdy Quill. Although I often forget about Instagram. I'm terrible at social media, which is why I'm a newsletter specialist. I'm also on LinkedIn at Sarah Dickinson NQ, I think it is. But again, I forget about LinkedIn all the time. Find me on Facebook. That's the best place. At the Nerdy Quill on Facebook. And I also have a freebie, which is a content planner. Yeah, because I
We'll be
really,
adding it to the show notes.
yes, thank you, because I really want to help everybody with content planning, because I find it is so easy, and it is difficult for, I acknowledge it is difficult for a lot of people, where it's super easy for me. So it's the way I make content planning easy.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have a chance, stop by the website at lindamendable.com. Sign up for the Blog Cure, which is an awesome course that I created that will help you set up your blog or take your blog to the next level. And join us over at Monetizing Mompreneurs Facebook group. I just want to say again, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Easy.